What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Chewing Grounds. Today is a very special episode. We're going to be doing the Vietnam special. If you guys didn't know, I've been in Vietnam for the past 2 weeks now, plus one that I've been recouping. And that's the reason why I haven't posted an episode in the last 3 weeks. This is a very special episode. We'll be talking about my whole entire trip to Vietnam, my motherland. And dude, guys, it was the craziest trip in my life. From the crazy clubs to insane scenery and tourist attractions that we saw, the food, the local stuff. I went to my cousin's wedding. Like, it was insane. And we're going to be talking all about that on this podcast. I'm super excited to share. Also, it's going to be a cool episode because I have a bunch of pictures pulled up here that we'll be going through right here. If you guys are on the video episode. If you guys aren't on the video episode for some reason, it's okay. I will be describing every picture as best as I can. But we'll be going through it. If you guys do, for some reason, want to watch the video episode, this podcast will be on the YouTube channel, The Chewing Grounds. And before we start, I want to tell you guys, please stay tuned to my main channel. I have a YouTube channel called Loonkdo, Loonkdo, where I will be posting anywhere from 7 to 8 vlogs starting tomorrow. So it was just insane, and I really want you guys to be there with me. So check out the vlogs. It was like really like, you guys are gonna hear the story and you guys are gonna be like, holy fuck, what the hell. I honestly don't even think I can do Vietnam like I did this time again, but I'm gonna try to recreate it because I had so much fun that I'm already planning another trip. That I'm done touring to Europe and stuff for at least right now. I am obsessed with Southeast Asia, and I also want to hit East Asia with Japan as well. But yeah, let's see what else I have to talk about. Oh yeah, I posted on my Instagram story what you guys wanted to hear most. And it was literally a dead weight split between food, clubbing, nightlife, and local, the dating scene, because I did participate a little bit. And what was the other category? It was, sorry, let me check right now. Oh, sites and landmarks, and it's literally split. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the percentile is almost all in the 20s. So we're gonna be talking about all of it, and I'm just gonna go chronologically, and we're gonna go post picture, show you guys the pictures and so forth, because it was just freaking insane. So, all right, let's get into this. Anything else I need to talk about beforehand? Nope. Sorry. Check my notes. All right. So first off, when I first went on this trip, and how it even started was a group of my friends. And by the way, this is a good time to announce I'm going to keep all people's names, whether it's people I met, my friends. I'm going to keep it out of it just for their privacy, because I know some people don't like their name being out there and so forth. But for me, I'll be telling you guys my perspective because I really don't give a fuck. So, all right. So 5 of my friends, they planned a trip. I think it was like last April. So it's been like 8 months, or no, not 8 months. Yeah, 8 months ahead. And they wanted to go to Vietnam, the motherland. And one of them is from Vietnam. And so it's perfect because he speaks the language. And I was playing Call of Duty with 2 of the people going on the trip, and they go, "Oh, Loon, are you going on the trip?" And I'll go, "Wait, there's a trip?" And I literally bummed my way into this trip, but everybody was wanting me to go anyways. And I speak the language. I was actually born in Vietnam, for those of you guys that didn't know, and I hadn't been back to Vietnam since I was born and since I was 10 years old, which is 16 years ago. I visited one time with my family, and that trip was awesome, but I was also 10, so I didn't really get to appreciate the culture. And Vietnam changed a lot, guys. So let's go down chronologically the story. So first off, I bought my ticket separate from them. So I was going to be going solo travel there and meeting them there. Funny enough, I actually did run into them in Charlotte, but they were flying separate. They were going to Boston, where I was going to JFK, New York. And they had like an overnight, and I was gonna be in JFK for 5 hours, then to Korea, then Korea for 3 hours, and then Saigon, or AKA Ho Chi Minh City. By the way, this is a good time for me to say, those of you who aren't Vietnamese, whenever I say Saigon, I also mean Ho Chi Minh City. And whenever I say Ho Chi Minh City, I also mean Saigon. Quick history lesson. Those of you that don't know, the city of Ho Chi Minh City was named Saigon a long time ago. And, I believe after the war and so forth, there was a time period where they changed the name. And if the South, where I'm from, had won the war, Vietnam would have been separated into North Vietnam and South Vietnam, just like that of North Korea and South Korea. And it would have been like the Republic of Vietnam, the South, because Vietnam right now is a communist country. However, when you guys hear communist, it's not like that terrifying. It's a normal country. It just happens to be ran by a, communist regime. But dude, insane. Back to the good stuff. So I go on, I go by myself, and I love solo travel. I don't love it for too long. I have been like 2 or 3 trips by myself before, and so it was interesting. But vlogging is always funny, and you always see people looking at you and stuff. And first thing I want to talk to you about before we get into Vietnam was the lounges, bro. I went to this lounge, you guys are seeing it right here, called Prime Class Lounge. And again, all of this stuff will be in the vlog, so please stay tuned, because this shit is insane. Prime Class Lounge is the coolest lounge I've ever been in the States. This place that you guys are seeing all the little picture slide, bro, it had bomb food. This bar is sick that you guys see right here. And the bartender, Emiliano, I remember your name, bro. You were awesome, man. And they had a freaking shower. The shower was everything, bro. Because I can't tell you guys the amount of times that I've traveled and just absolutely felt like disgusting, especially on a long trip like that. You always feel gross after. I showered collectively 3 times that day, right before the trip, in Prime Class Lounge, and I showered again in Korea, because in Korea, the airport, you can pay for like 5 or 6 US to shower in these like little shower booths, which is super cool. It's like very clean. It's not like a YMCA at all. Oh, and the shower here was insane as well. All right, then we got it to Korea. But before then, I went on a flight from Charlotte to New York that had so much fucking turbulence, dude. And I filmed some of it in the vlog, so I hope you guys check that out. But the turbulence was insane. We flew during a time where it was really rainy and stuff. And the rain causes wind rifts, and it causes turbulence and so forth. But dude, Korea's airport was insane. And if you guys didn't know, the lounge, and when I talk about lounge, I get into these for free through my credit card. Highly recommend those of you who travel a lot to get a travel card. But these are free, so for those who get it, and it's under priority pass. But dude, the lounge at Korea was sick. Not as cool as JFK because they didn't have a shower, but the food was easily the best. But I'm also biased because I love fucking Korean food, dude. Their food here, and I'm shitting you not, is like, well, both the lounges, but this one especially, literally restaurant grade. Like if you go to a Korean restaurant in the States, probably won't even be as good as this place. And this is all free food. I just vividly remember, and it's in the vlog, eating this bulgogi stir fry. Oh, and they had a ramen bar, bro. A fucking ramen bar. I love ramen. Instant ramen's the best. Yeah, sodium and calories were off the chart that day for me. For show. All right, so into the good shit. So I land to Ho Chi Minh City, the motherland. And my God, was my experience to start poopy bagoop. Also, look at these beautiful pictures of Ho Chi Minh City. It is so pretty. It literally is this pretty. Like, you guys see this stuff. And, oftentimes when you guys search up things online, you guys are like, oh, no way would it actually be that pretty. Like, maybe they added saturation and edited the pictures. No, Vietnam is genuinely this pretty. I have never been to a country, with maybe the exception of Mykonos, Greece. I would say Mykonos, Greece was also as pretty as all the pictures that you see online, but Vietnam is fucking gorgeous. I don't care if you're American, I don't care if you're especially if you're Vietnamese, but if you're American, if you're fucking, black, Indian, whatever, you have to go to Vietnam at least once, especially while it is still inexpensive, because goddamn was it inexpensive. Besides the flight was 1,000, I think, or 1,100 round trip. Besides that, everything there is cheap. Clubbing, alcohol, food. I'm talking like cents. Beer was 50 cents, bro. And at a club, a beer is like $1 or $2, I think. And dude, a bottle can go anywhere from, like, bottle service, like full bottle service, anywhere from $20, unless you're going to like a really nice club. It's like 200-300 bucks, but that's still cheaper than Miami. And this is in comparison too. Like, Vietnam is to the quality of Miami, if not better. But anyway, so we arrived to Ho Chi Minh City, aka Saigon, and bro, I had a terrible time at the airport because you go through visa check. The guy, I had a feeling I should not have waited in this specific line because the guy looks like an asshole. If you guys didn't know, if they can tell, even in the slightest, like the people who work at the airport, that you are a Vietnamese American, they will try to jip you. Maybe they'll try to jip you in general, even if you are American, because they know Americans, Australians, people like that, we have more money than they do. So they will do whatever it takes to get that extra dinero. It is more of a corrupt country in that aspect, but it is not as corrupt as like places in South America and so forth. Like, it is very civilized as well. So the guy was like, hey, you put your name twice on the visa. And bruh, it was my friend's fault, just gotta say. But it was also my fault. I should have checked over. But who the fuck cares? It's named twice. And like, you'll see that he was totally jipping me later on in the story. So I go to the visa section. He says that I have to do a whole new visa. I'm like, how much is that? It's $150 US, which is absurd. Like, that's a lot of money for them. That's, if you, in reference, $150 US to them, if you were to say in US, is like $800, $900. So this dude is jipping the shit out of me. And I'm pissed, but they're not going to let me through. So I'm sitting here and I'm like talking to this other dude. He's like, oh, don't worry. He's trying to be nice. He's like playing the nice cop. He's like, I'll help you. I'll fill out all the form. I'm just going to need $150. And I'm like, all right, you gotta take card. And he's like, no, but there's an ATM. None of my cards were going through the ATM. I brought Viet Dong, but I didn't bring a lot of US. I had like maybe $80 in Vietnam, which is a lot, by the way. And I was planning on getting more there in Vietnam because I have family there. But whatever. I was just like, bro, what? And none of the ATMs were working. I'm stressed out. At this point, an hour has passed and I've been stuck in the airport. And, my friends are arriving in 8 hours. So in my head, I'm like, maybe my friends will get here by the time that I get out of here. I was hoping to do a solo mission out in Vietnam by myself. Thank God. And I mean, the lights of the universe came down and was like, Loon, we're going to bless you. Because I looked in my little travel pouch. I had a little fanny pack that I travel with whenever I go abroad, and there was $100 euros, and euros weigh even more than US. And he accepted that with some Viet Dong, and we got it through. Again, fuck you to the Vietnamese workers there because they're totally jipping me. I know they're jipping me too, but you can't do anything, which is the fucked up part. Anyways, I make it out to the city. I got a Grab. If you guys didn't know, they don't use Ubers there. They use Grabs. But Grab is essentially Uber and Uber Eats and like Uber Bike combined. You can literally call a Grab bike where if you're by yourself, you can hop on someone's bike, which is insane. And guys, guess what the prices are of an Uber there, aka a Grab? 50 cents to $1. Unless you're going really far, like 30 minutes, I would say, it might be $2. And that's like the highest I ever paid. I think the highest we paid for a Grab was $2 or $3. But we paid more for like airport shuttles because we had like a squad of 6 of us. But anyways, so I make it into the city and dude, I am in awe. Like, I'm looking around, I'm like, Saigon or Ho Chi Minh City is essentially the Vietnamese, the better and more refined version of New York City. It's that big. The population is actually very similar. I think if we're gonna look at it right now, let's see. New York City population. So New York City population is 8.5 million, right? Oh, I think Saigon is actually more. Ho Chi Minh population. Oh, is it gonna load? Okay. Yeah, it's more. It's almost 500,000 more. So it's actually bigger than New York City. And it's broken up into districts. I think there's 10 to 12 districts, something like that. I don't know. District 1 is the main district. And then like as you branch out, there's like a little bit more not rural, a little bit more like less city, like big city and so forth. Kind of like New York. Like you go Manhattan and then you go outside Manhattan and it's not as like big buildings and stuff, but it's still New York City. It's very similar in that way. But dude, it's way freaking cooler because it's less expensive. There's fucking food everywhere. And you think New York has food everywhere? No. Ho Chi Minh City has food. I'm talking everywhere, and it slaps, and it's 50 cents or $1, bro, unless you're going to like a really nice place. It might be a couple dollars. Anyway, so I went to get coffee, and I'm vlogging a little solo mission out here. Funny as fuck, I went to get coffee, and I didn't know this. You guys got to check out the vlog to really see where I went, but it was, I don't know if it's just like, it was a very LGBTQ coffee place, so I think people thought I was gay. Oh, I don't know if it was actually that, but literally everyone there was on the LGBTQ. They were one of the letters. They were one of the letters. And oh, funny experience. I mean, I'm not judging at all by any means because, you know, shout out to you if you're going to do this. It's very, you know, as long as it is consensual, which it did seem. I saw a couple that was just so fascinating. It was a Vietnamese guy who spoke broken English well enough, who was maybe 18. Like, I don't know. I would have guessed even lower, but you know, I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna say 18, maybe just 20. And he was obviously gay, and he was on a date with an American man who was like 70, but he was a good-looking guy. Like he was like, you know, like who's that old good-looking dude? George Clooney type guy. And he was obviously gay, and they were on a date, but it was just so fascinating. I was just kind of observing this experience and like interaction with them. But yeah, that was really cool. And the coffee was fucking, dude, Vietnamese coffee in Vietnam is like just so gas. Like, how do I describe it to an American? Imagine your coffee as an American and then 10 times better. It's literally like that. So they put condensed milk, and it's a take on French coffee. They use their own system of a French drip, but it's their own little like tin thingy. I actually have one over there, but I'm too lazy to grab it. And then they drip the coffee, and then they add condensed milk, and they put it. Most of the time, they drink it cold over ice. Now, because Vietnam's hot as fuck, which we will talk about as well. And the thing about the coffee that's fascinating is no matter where you go, whenever you order a Viet coffee, it is very inexpensive. That place was actually the most expensive that I went to, the first spot. But after that, everything was like 50 cents. And the coffee is probably half of a tall Starbucks coffee. So you can order two if you're an American used to more coffee, which we have totally done. And yeah, so dude, first thing that I did really experience was how hot it was. Like, you think the humidity and heat is like that in Miami? No. Vietnam, if you guys didn't know, like if I were to give an American a comparison, so you go to Miami and temperature there is usually like 80s, 90s, right? No, Vietnam is always 90s, maybe even hundreds, right? The only time that we were hit the 80s was beach towns because of the wind from the ocean. But for the most part, Saigon is just, I'm drenched. I'm carrying luggage around me too because I'm alone. And so I'm going around Ho Chi Minh City by myself, having a fucking blast, bro. And it was funny because before this trip, my dad was telling me, he was like, don't go on by yourself. Wait for your friends. It's really dangerous. And I was like, going out in Vietnam by myself, especially speaking the language, and granted, I am a guy, so I do have that privilege. It didn't feel any more or less safe than going out in Europe by myself. It's like no matter where you go in the world, it is going to be You always got to keep your guard up if you're by yourself, no matter where you are. Obviously, there are places more dangerous, and I'm looking at you, Detroit. But Vietnam is not one of those where I was, at least in that area, in Ho Chi Minh City, and specifically District 1 to 3. I think I went to 7 and 8 as well. Didn't feel sketched out at all. But, I also didn't have many things on me that could be stolen besides my phone and a little bit of cash. But yeah, so I went on my own journey, and, I see people taking pictures. There was a lot of tourists in Ho Chi Minh City. So, especially District 1, because District 1 is the bumping area. Think of District 1 as like the Midtown Manhattan, or just Manhattan, like central Manhattan. There's a lot of tourists, but a lot of Vietnamese as well, and God, bro, the food was so good. The first thing I ate in Vietnam was it was a take on what is it? Gum sung, which is rice with pork usually. Oop, sorry if the camera cut out. I'm gonna adjust that right now. Okay. With pork usually, but I got a fried fish one because they said it was really popular. It was pretty good. I should have got the pork one though, because I'm just more used to that. But it was pretty good. And I got boba, dude. So I went on a Tinder date because your boy had I got Tinder. What is it called? Plus before the trip, and I put it there just because I knew I was gonna be alone, and why not occupy my time with some casual dating? Nothing crazy. So I went on a date with a French girl, which was so interesting. She was Caucasian, which is my usual type. By the way, I have to talk about this right now. Before this trip, your boy usually only dates like Caucasian women and occasionally dabble outside. Like I've dabbled into other ethnicities, but it was only dabbling. After this trip, I shit you not, I love Asian women now. Like it goes neck and neck with Caucasian women. I shout out to you Asian women, bro. Hit me up. But you'll see why. You'll see why in the trip as well. So I guess I just didn't when I was younger, I never appreciated it because my only influences into Asian women was my family. But I didn't realize that there's so many freaking baddies in Vietnam, bro. And I really, really, dude, just life changing trip. That's all I got to say about that. And we'll continue forth. So I went on a date with a French girl. It was pretty cool. We got some drinks. We got some smoothies. And, she was solo traveling. I thought it was pretty sick. I technically was solo traveling in that moment. It was pretty cool. And then we went by Huynh Huế, which is this, it's a walking street, not the walking district. Don't get that confused. There is a walking district as well. But it's a walking street, and it's very cool. So at night here, I don't know if you guys can see that, but at night, especially, there's a bunch of lights. There it is. So there's a bunch of lights, there's street performers, and there's karaoke, and you can sign up. I was gonna do it, but I wish my friends were there. And it gets busy. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it does get busy. It gets very, very, very packed. Let me make it a little bit bigger. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's not worth it, but yeah. Oh, there you go. It gets really busy, dude. And there's snakes and freaking cats and the randomest things there. And we went to a rooftop bar there that was so pretty and so interesting. I was so full, I couldn't eat at that point. And then at that point, I parted ways with her, said, hey, thank you for hanging out with me. And that was a very chill date. It wasn't anything crazy. I don't think either of us were trying to, fornicate or anything like that. But I had to get ready because my friends were about to arrive because it's now nighttime and it had been about 8 or 9 hours. I get a text from one of my friends and he says, dude, we're having issues with Visa. And I'm like, oh shit, just like me. So they go, there was an issue, the same issue, and they say, I'm not sure, we might be stuck here till the morning, 8 a.m. because the visa office was closed by the time that they arrived. And, my friend that is Vietnamese, his parents were the ones who are at the airport, and his family picking them up and they're from America. Well, they live in America, but they're visiting Vietnam as well. And they have been waiting for us. They were gonna come pick me up, and we were gonna have this whole journey. But they might have to sleep in the car and wait because shit out of luck, they might have to wait. So I, on the other hand, I'm like, damn, that fucking sucks, bro. Like, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? I have to stay away because I'm not gonna book a hotel. It's gonna be worthless. I had to stay away for another, at that point, 10 to 12 hours. So I go on my handy dandy Tinder app and hit up one of the girls that I had matched with and be like, hey, do you want to hang out tonight? And I told her the situation, and I was like, we can go grab a drink. And she was like, yeah, sure. Just let me know the bar. And I found this like outdoor bar. It was bumping. There's a lot of people, and everyone's sitting on like plastic chairs, which is the most Vietnamese thing in the world. And everyone's having a good time. So I drink a beer, and this is when I realized beer is literally 50 cents, which is fucking crazy. And she comes meet up with me, and here's a funny story. So she meets up with me. She's very beautiful, and this is my start at my little Asian women, not addiction, that's the wrong term, fascination, might I say. And we had a good time. We talked a little bit, and it was funny. So I had to go to the bathroom, and I brought my luggage with me, and she goes, whoa, you can just leave that here. And I'm like, bro, I don't trust nobody. I'm out here by myself, just meeting a new girl in Vietnam. My dad had like warned me about women there and like everything else. So I'm over here like, no, stop bringing it with me to pee. But I think that's a safety thing. I think anybody should do that. But yeah, we had a good time. We had a beer, and we had a snack, I think. I don't know. And then I get a call from my friends saying, hey, we actually got lucked out. And the person that did their visa, was this lady, was like super chill and nice. Didn't even really bat an eye at their double name. So that just shows you that I got fucking gypped, bro. So fuck that guy. Anyways, so I had to tell her, I was like, hey, I'm so sorry, but my friends actually arrived and they're gonna come pick me up. And but we could still hang out until I have to leave. And she was cool with that. The total date ended up being like maybe an hour. But, as we were talking, I see this giant van, like humongous, like freaking, let's see. It honestly could have fit, let's see, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Probably a 14, 15 seater van. Pull up to a bar, like an outdoor bar. How do I describe it? Like the vibe is so different from someone picking you up there. And it's so funny because everyone's looking, and there's this huge van. And my tallest Vietnamese friend, massive guy, 6'4", freaking like, I don't know how much, 200 something pounds, walks out with flowers to give to me, and people are clapping, and it's hilarious. And I obviously had to part ways with my date, but I told her I'll hang out with her when I come back to Saigon. So now the next chapter in the story, me meeting up with my homies. So I got to see everybody. It is nighttime. We're gonna be driving to my friend's that is Vietnamese, his auntie's house, to kind of rest, take a nap, shower, and then we're gonna go down further to that of Sok Trang, which is the city that he is from, which is actually an hour from where I was born, which is really interesting. So we go, and none of us are tired. We stay awake through the whole car trip, and it's been about an hour and a half now. And we stopped by his auntie's place. Aunt is so cool. Shout out to his aunt. I can say that because technically it's not a name. Yeah, so literally the coolest aunt. And what's crazy? The aunt comes up to me and goes, I met you. And I was like, what? No way. She goes, yeah, I met you when you were 10 years old, when you came to Vietnam with your family. And I know your mom. And I was just like, what? That's insane. She knows my sister, I believe, too. And it was just such a cool little reunion. I don't remember her, obviously, but she was so sweet to me. They fed us the most gas food ever. And here in a little bit, we're going to pull up all the pictures because up to this point, I didn't really have much footage, but we're about to start the footage train. And yeah, so we ate, we had a cafe soda, which is One of my friends started saying "Cafe Suda" a lot, which is so funny, and my Vietnamese friend's family loved him saying that, which is so awesome. Because Vietnamese people, especially in rural areas, in the big city like Saigon, they won't say anything, but in the rural areas, seeing an American is like, what the fuck? It's like, like, oh my God, American guy here? That's crazy, man. What the fuck? But no, they literally like, they don't see Americans. So it's already rare for me to be there as a Vic U, which is a Americanized Viet. But it's even more rare to see an actual American because how often do they see these motherfuckers pulling up? So after that, we go further down south and we go on a car ride. I think everybody kind of knocks out, takes a nap. I took a nap, and we go to Sokjang, and now I can show you guys pictures. Sokjang, oh, there we go, is this beautiful, beautiful town. This is literally one of my favorite pictures that I caught of the whole trip, by the way. This was during one of our walks with one of the aunties there. But God, look, I love it. That's my new screensaver, by the way. I love it. It's just such a sick picture. My sister thought I was peeing, which is funny. I was not peeing, but I wish I was. That's actually funny. Let's just say I was peeing. But Sokjang is this small town. It's an hour from my hometown, and God, we had such a blast with my friend's family. They showed us the markets, and in these small towns during the day, a lot of people's jobs and income is, I actually have a tattoo of this because my mom used to do it. Wait, where is it? They used to, carry stuff out to these markets and just sell it every day. And, people would buy food and so forth, and just, it's just so, you won't see that anywhere, because besides maybe like rural South America, that's the only other place I could imagine you really seeing stuff like Vietnam, because it was insane. And we had so many fun little random experiences. So we pulled up to his grand aunt's house, and it was so funny because when we went to his grand aunt's house, there was a coconut trees, and this is a great time to say, all across Vietnam, especially rural Vietnam, but even in the city, you'll see trees that have fruits, and you can literally pick them and eat them because there is such an abundance of just natural food there. And I think that's the reason why everyone there is so much skinnier than us, and so much more like, and there's so much food vendors because the access to food is just so abundant. Literally in the front yard of his grand aunt's house, there is like 8 coconut trees. And I love coconuts. They found out I love coconuts. They found out the squad wants some coconuts. They cut down like 50 coconuts for us, bro. And funny story, I tried to climb a coconut tree and I cut my foot because I fell. I fell on a picture frame of all things, and that's caught on camera. So check out the vlog whenever it comes out. Oh my God, dude, it was gushing blood. I didn't even notice. One of the aunts was like, "Oh, I think you're bleeding." I was like, "Oh shit, I am." So I got it wrapped up and everything. But dude, we ate so many coconuts that day. I literally, I think I had anywhere from like 9 to 14 coconuts, juices, and it was so delicious, every single one of them. And what's crazy? Those coconuts weren't even the most delicious on the trip because those were a little bit too ripe. But they wanted to pick it for us, which was awesome. Shout out to them. Yeah, it was. And then we went on this walk. That's where we saw this beautiful scenery. We also went to the temple, which was also very interesting. I'm jumping in this, by the way. Small town like Sopjang having one of the biggest temples I've ever seen, like top 10, like insane. They must take their religion very seriously. But yeah, so on top of that, what else happened? We went to one of his relatives' hair salons in town, and they hooked us all up with a nice hair bath and everything. Okay, at this point, this is a big turning point in my life. At the hair salon and throughout this whole trip so far, I had noticed how do I say this without sounding like a cocky bastard? Me in America, I'm a solid guy. Average looking Joe. But being a Vietnamese who's a little bit shorter, 5'4", 5'5" on a good day, I'm not the most sought after guy. And I know that. I'm a very niche guy. There's certain girls that are gonna love me, and there's certain girls that don't. In Vietnam, I'm a fucking like 9 or 10, dude. And so is my friend that was with me. One, we're American, so they know that we have money, which is obviously one thing that women look for. I'm no longer the shortest. The average height in Vietnam is 5'2", bro. I am slightly taller than the average guy. Isn't that fucking crazy? Granted, the Vietnamese girl I went on a date with, she said that she thought I was gonna be taller. That's funny. I have another funny story that we're gonna get into. But yeah. So, and I'm a pretty decent look. A lot of the Vietnamese dudes, especially in rural areas, they don't have an option but to constantly be in the sun, and that obviously does cause damage to them because they don't use sunscreen like we do in America. And so that's another thing. And like, just there's so many little factors that play into this. And on top of that, I do speak Viet well enough. So it was so fascinating because in this moment, like in the hair salon, the girls are literally saying it right in front of me, giggling about the fact that I'm really handsome and shit. And bro, I'm not gonna even lie, that gassed me the fuck up. By the way, I just checked the time, and because I want this podcast out before 6, because I have some stuff going on, we are actually going to have to cut this podcast into a 2-parter, which is interesting because now next week I get to talk about more of the trip. But don't worry, we still got another solid 20-30 minutes if you guys are listening or watching this, because we are just now getting to the good stuff. Actually, we're not even there yet. The really good stuff is when the boys go on their own, because right now we're with family. All right, so the next spot that we go to after our journey to Sopchang is only an hour away. It's called Canto. I'm totally probably butchering that, but Canto is known for its floating market. And if you guys search up floating market Vietnam, there's only like 2 big ones, and this is one of the biggest ones. And what a floating market is essentially you go out early in the morning, and you you book out a boat and you get to do this wild experience. And we're going to get into that in a second. But before that, we go into Canto, and it's like midday. Funny story. So me, my friend, my Vietnamese friend, and his mom go into this hotel that the driver, by the way, when you travel around Vietnam, you want to book a driver, and it's pretty inexpensive. The driver like stays with you. Like, I'm talking like, he like books his own hotel and stuff. I mean, you pay for it, but again, hotels are so cheap. And they stay with you and they drive you everywhere, which is the coolest thing in the world. It's literally having a chauffeur. It's a chauffeur. I don't even know why I'm saying driver. So our chauffeur recommended us this hotel because it was going to be right by the night market there, which is also a famous night market, and the floating market. And the hotel is pretty chill. We go up there. It's funny. Okay, so in Vietnam, everything you can do, everything there you can barter and bargain for, unless they tell you, right? Like, there's a sign that says that they don't do that there, which is very rare. It's like one store I've ever experienced. You can bargain and barter anything and everything, guys. I'm talking from street vendors. I don't do that because. Not street vendors, because the price is so low, but dude, it's just so funny because we went into the hotel and essentially the room's prices are as follows. For a single bed, it's and I'll do it in US, because if I say like 500,000, 800,000, you guys aren't gonna know what it is in US. So the smallest room, one bed, is $17 US for a night, which is fucking absurd, dude. The rooms are pretty nice too. They gave us a little tour. The step up from that is like 22 US, and then the master room with like 2 beds, big beds, and like a sofa is I think that was like $30. And we needed a lot of rooms because there was a total of probably like 14 of us. No, that's reaching. It's probably like 12 of us. And 6 of us wanted our own rooms, and we all were willing to pay $17 for our own room. It's $17 to sleep and not deal with someone else. I would pay that. Now the other guys, the family wanted only like 2 or 3 rooms because they like sharing beds and stuff. They don't care. about that. This is a very Vietnamese thing. I remember we used to go to Myrtle Beach and it would be the whole family in one room. And I don't like that personally, but it's hard to sleep, bro. Anyways, funniest thing. So me, my friend, and his mom barters and bargains the room, and essentially we all looked at each other, and his mom comes up to me and is like, "Do you think this is a good price? Should we do it?" And I was like, "I don't know." And then like I look at him, he's really tall, so I look up, and he's like, we're all kind of like, ah, and she's like, "Look, this is what we'll do. We'll give you the lowest price for all the rooms, including the master and all that stuff that you need." So we got every room. We got a total of like 9 rooms. No, 8 or 9 rooms for the price of 17 each, even the master rooms, because they weren't gonna sell it that night. It was pretty empty. We had a whole floor to ourselves. We practically had like 2 floors to ourselves. But yeah, insane. We all took a nap, and it was funny because one of the guys got really grumpy when we woke him up, because we all planned to go to the night market. What's the point of being kanto? We're only going to be there for one night. We might as well experience the night market. And we know the next day we have to be up at 4:35 a.m. because in order to do the floating market, you want to be up really early. The later you wait, it's going to get too busy and bustling, and you're not going to be able to experience everything. So we knew, hey, we needed to take a nap. We're all exhausted traveling and stuff. So we took I took maybe an hour or 2. I woke everyone up. One dude's really pissed. One dude's kind of like taking way too long, but he was going to meet us out. And we go to the night market. And here's a picture of the night market, so you guys know what I'm talking about. So this is the outside of the night market. This is just the clothing side. There is a food side as well. And as you guys can see with the food, a lot of street vendors. This one specifically was kind of ass. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of pissed about this one. But we found the other side, which is all food, and that was sick. So we got this is a inside out banh mi. So if you guys didn't know, Vietnamese sandwich or a banh mi is a French baguette with pate and a lot of meats and veggies and so forth. But this is a inverted one because you eat the banh mi, like they slice the banh mi up inside there, and then they put all the stuff on top. That was really interesting. You'll see it in my vlog whenever we get there to see like exactly how I felt about it, but it was interesting. This is like an example of a vendor that was out there. You can see the meats right here. It says one stick is 10K. In reference, 10K is 33 cents. Wait, like 35 cents or something like that. It's really cheap. That's all you need to know. It's like 30 to 40 cents. That's all you need to know. And it is so cheap. Sorry, I repeated that 3 times. I had to get it correctly. But then we got grapes. That was interesting. There's a big French influence in Vietnam because they colonized us a long time ago. And then we got jia. I was so happy with the jia that I got. I got jia ba mao, and that shit slap. Cheers to that. Oh, yeah. Also, look at my cute little Starbucks collab cup I got. They sell these across Vietnam at the various Starbucks, especially the big Starbucks, and I had to get one. This shit was so cute. Bro, so this is at the night market. We found a seafood and snail spot. This right here, this sucker, it was some type of snail. My friend's gonna know it more than me. It was some type of snail, and in this sauce, so good. Like, at this point in the trip, this and his auntie's meal was the best things that we've had. This shit was so delicious, bro. I'm salivating right now thinking about this. I'm freaking hungry again. Anyways, so after that, we went to the here's another delicious little treat we got. We didn't get this at the night market though. We actually got this after the floating market, so we're skipping ahead of a little bit, but this is really pretty. If you guys didn't know, this is something you can often get during like Tet or New Year's, Chinese New Year's, aka Vietnamese New Year's. Very popularized, but it was so interesting to me because I'd never seen a 3-colored one, or technically 4-colored one, and it was really good. It's just very filling. So now we go on to the floating market. We wake up at 4:30, the crust of dawn, bro. And let me see if I can find the right video. Is it this one? No, it's not this video. The night market. I mean the floating market, sorry. Where is the floating market? Well, while I'm doing this, let me do this. This is a lot easier. Sorry for those who are listening and waiting. It's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it, I promise. Looking through these videos. One of these is the night market. And I want to show you guys. Dang, maybe I didn't have the night market sent to me. Oh, nope. That's not it either. All right. So I don't have it in this collection, I don't think. Yeah, I don't. All right, well, it's okay. So skipping back. So the night market. I kept saying my night market, floating market. We'll talk about it. I'm sorry that I don't have the content. I do have it. I just didn't send it beforehand. It's gonna take too long for me to like prep it right now. So you go on this boat, and it is the sickest experience because you go early in the morning. The whole gang's together. Everybody's got some life jackets on as they require you. You hire out the guy for the whole day, and the total time experience is going to be anywhere from, if you want it cut short, 4 hours to 8 hours. I think our total was like 6 hours, so right in the middle. And you hiring the boat guy, it costs $500K, I think, or no. I don't know, but it's something crazy and expensive. It's like anywhere from 30 to like $60. And for all of us, there's like 8 of us. There's 6 guys, and his uncle and his dad came with us. I think 2 uncles might have came, so might have been even more. Dude, cool. One of the coolest experiences ever. The only reason I'm not saying the coolest experience is because there was even cooler experiences on this trip. But at this point in the trip, that was one of the coolest experiences I've ever experienced in my life. So we go on this boat, and the boat drives us to this little stop. And he's like, yo, do you guys want to eat breakfast? Get some cafe soda or some iced coffee with milk before we actually go out. By the way, if you're American and you don't know, cafe soda means coffee with milk and ice. But it's the main attraction. In Vietnam, you're most likely going to drink one of 2 coffee drinks unless you're at a specialty coffee shop, which is like the Win place or Starbucks, things like places like that. But if you're going to a normal place, you got cafe da or iced coffee, which is black. And you can say dang if you really want to say black, but cafe da is just pretty much classic. And then cafe soda. Sorry, camera's cutting out again. Last time I'll need to do this. Okay, so or cafe soda, which is with condensed milk and and then you can ask for sugar, of course. But we stopped by this place, and dude, we got Boom Reel. If you guys don't know what Boom Reel is, actually I can show you guys right now. Boom Reel is this Boom Reel. Oops. Is a classic dish. I'm actually glad we got this on this trip because I didn't eat it more than this one time, and it was so good. It's a noodle dish. I know it looks red, but it's not spicy at all. It's actually from the crab, and that causes it to crab and tomatoes that cause it to be a little bit red. But bruh, let me tell y'all, boy, the Boom Reel here slapped. Every food that we got on the floating market was better than, I'm going to say like 90% of food here. Greensboro food. Yeah, I'm going to say that. It was so freaking good, bro. And we got our coffees. We went back on the market. And when you're on these boats, the cool thing about the floating market and the whole experience is there's other boat vendors that will pull up to your boat, latch their rope on there and be like, hey, do you guys want this? Do you guys want banh mi? Do you guys want banh bao? Do you guys want noodles? Do you guys want a drink? We got like fresh squeezed orange juice. It was delicious too. And another cool thing that you'll see in the vlog is on each of the boats, on their little front stick, they'll have whatever they sell there. So if it's banh mi, you'll see something related to banh mi on the thing. And that's how you know. And you can always call out. You'll be like, hey, like, over here, and then you can buy however many. Again, everything there. I'm talking banh mi is like $1, maybe not even $1, and you're giving it out to you're just the food was so good. And I have to specifically talk about this one vendor. He specialized in 2 dishes, and that's another thing you'll see out here. Most people who are out in these floating markets, they only specialize in 1, 2, or 3 dishes, which is why they're so good, because they perfected this their whole lives, and they're truly specialized in this. And it's like literally the opposite of like the Cheesecake Factory. You know, when you go to Cheesecake Factory and you see like 80,000 things on their menu, you only see 1 or 2 or maybe 3. And this guy only sold 2 dishes. He sold bung mam, I think, which is like a type of fish sauce soup noodle. And he sold hủ tiếu, which is another noodle dish, hot noodle dish. Hủ tiếu. Yeah, I do know how to spell it. Wow, I'm shocked. And you know, at this point, oh, maybe I don't know how to spell. Oh, there it is. So at this point, I want to establish that most of my life, I don't usually opt for hủ tiếu because it's, you know, and at least in America, I usually go opt for pho or, you know, bún riêu, sometimes bún bò Huế. But hủ tiếu is usually like my 3rd or 4th choice, so I don't usually think about it unless, you know, it's like one of the only things on the menu. This moment in the trip changed my whole perspective on hủ tiếu. I decided to get hủ tiếu because I don't like bún mắm. So I'm on the boat and I ordered, and by the way, this is what hủ tiếu looks like. It usually has shrimp, pork, Vietnamese pork specifically, noodles, and it's in a specific type of broth that tastes very, how do I describe it? Home cooked broth that is very light, similar to a pho broth, but more herbal and less, and you don't add anything to it because it's already flavor filled. And then there's usually quail eggs as well, and sometimes tofu. Bro, I have to take a moment of silence because that was the best, and I'm not joking, the best dish I had on the whole trip. We're not talking restaurant because later you'll I'll tell you guys about the best restaurants, like as a whole, like where all the food would slap. But if you're talking about one specific dish, that hủ tiếu was so motherfucking good, bro. Like I came in my fucking pants, but it was really spicy. I remember that. I remember like everyone's eating through the pain. They're like, and it was so fucking good. I honestly wish I ordered 2 bowls. It was that fucking good. But yeah, so and then the boat takes you to this little special place I think everybody stops at because it's very popular. It's where they make a lot of products that are sold in Vietnam, that of Vietnamese candy, Vietnamese colored noodles, which is so cool. It's like colored rice noodles, which is usually rice noodles is not colored, so it's really interesting to see that. And you get to see how they make it. You get to try samples, and it was so funny. Me and one of my American friends, we kept acting like we never tried the samples. We were just like, "Oh, dude, have you tried this yet?" It was like, "No." That's really good. Oh, dude, have you tried this one? We just kept circling. Dude, we ended up eating like we were the worst. We ended up eating so much free samples. Oh, it was so good though. So fucking good. Would I do it again? Absolutely. We also bought a couple things. I know my friend's dad literally bought a Vietnamese bootlegged moonshine, like that they make there. It was later on the trip we tried it and it was fucking awful. But it was like a bootlegged vodka or rum. It was a clear liquor. I think it was rum. Usually those are more bootlegged. Anyway, so we had that experience, and you know we went back off the boat, and that's when we tried this delicious. And now we are headed back to the first auntie's house that was closer to Ho Chi Minh City because we're gonna sleep there for the night. When we sleep there, we have to be up really early the next day because the next day we have to get fitted go into the city and get fitted for suits because we were going to buy suits in Vietnam. Suits there are a lot cheaper. To get fully fitted and picking out the fabric and created to your size, it is only, I think, like 150 US, which is insanely cheap. Because if you were to do that here, where they not only fit you, but they give you the suit and everything, and you get to pick out the fabric. And this like top quality fabric, by the way. You're looking at like, I think the cheapest place you might be able to find is like $500 to $800, and that's like the cheaper ones. Anyway, so we are on the way to the first auntie's house because we do have to sleep there for the night, and we'll get to that story because that is a whole story too. But on the way there, it's still pretty early in the day, and my friend, Vietnamese friend, his mom had a great idea where she knew a place where we could stop by and get a full like 4-hour tourist experience. And when I say tourist, I don't mean like you're, oh, like this is over here and this is over. No, this is like one of the coolest tourist experience you could possibly book. And you know, everyone who goes to Vietnam, go ahead and hit my DMs. I will send you guys where this place is because it was so sick. And we have pictures for it. So when we first go there, by the way, each person, it's $20 something per person to do this, and you're gonna see that $20 something goes a long way. So first you go into this beautiful place. It's like super picturesque. A lot of you can't see it all, but you'll see it in the vlog. It's tons of picture spots in here. And you go down to eat, and they give you a feast. I'm talking like a feast. They give you 2 giant fish that are fried. They give you this is gantua right here. They give you Vietnamese breakfast crepes. They give you fucking tỏi, which is like a papaya salad. So much food to the point where we literally couldn't finish it. And we're eaters too. At least half the group is, and we could not finish it. So then after that, the lady takes you on this golf cart. They take 3 golf carts. We go down to this spot where we eat fruits, which is so cool. They have like various fruits, and these fruits are so fresh. And I believe, yeah, all are native, maybe native to Vietnam. I know most of them are. Here we have jackfruit, grapefruit, dragon fruit, which dragon fruit in Vietnam is very different from dragon fruit from the store here. As you guys can already tell, its color is not white. It's red, and it is so much sweeter and flavorful. If you eat a dragon fruit here, usually doesn't have a ton of flavor. Not biggest fan of dragon fruit here in America, but dragon fruit in Vietnam, boy. Watermelon, delicious. Pineapple, and I think this is, I don't know what, papaya. Oh no, guava or papaya. I don't know what the fuck. I forgot what this is called. Soursop? No, it's not soursop. I forgot what it's called, but it's very crunchy. It's a very crunchy thing. All my Vietnamese people, you guys will know. And you dip it in this muối, which is salt, and like it's like a sour salt. It's similar to that of tahine. It's like a Vietnamese tahine. And while you're eating the fruits, they're singing to you. They're playing, like, there's a guy playing guitar. They sing, and they give you roses where you can put a little bit of money and give it to the ladies that sing and say thank you and so forth, which is really cool experience. Oh, y'all think I was finished after eating, after the singing and all that? They take you in the golf cart and they go down to this this spot. Oh, this is where I can whip out the videos. Let's see. I have a video of us there, and I must show you guys because it was so cute. Oh, please tell me I have the video. I'm so sorry, guys, for those of you that are waiting. I hope everybody's having a great day. I love you guys so much. If you guys are watching this, you guys are my besties. Damn, I have so many videos queued up, by the way, and later we'll get into them. I, for some reason, don't have that video ready for you guys. I am so sorry. Next episode, I will definitely have it. That's not it. But essentially, why does that keep popping up? There you go. So essentially, we go to this place where they make candy, and it's really hot because already it's hot, of course, because now we're further south. So I didn't even mention that. It's scorching hot, like 95, 96 degrees. And while we're down there, there's a furnace where they make coconut candy, and they have to melt a lot of the taffy and stuff like that. So it's really fucking hot. And they show us snake liquor, which is this liquor that's created and fermented with a snake inside the bottle. And we all took a shot. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you've seen it. You guys watch the vlog, you'll see it. Disgusting. Like, god awful. So warm, so weird tasting. It tasted like a medical whiskey. I don't even know how to describe that. But after that, we bought some stuff and at the markets there, and then we went on this boat. This boat was sick. And there's me and some of my friends that will not be named. And we go down this river, and it's a river pathway that goes into the Mekong Delta River. If you guys didn't know, Mekong River is one of I think it's the biggest river in Vietnam, and it is one of the most important rivers, not only during the war, but also the Mekong River itself is life to like a cajillion fucking animals and different species. It's really cool. And we took some fascinating pictures. We were making fun of the fact that Asian parents always make you take these pictures. If you guys don't have Vietnamese parents, or I know some of my Hispanic parents do this too, but you guys will understand. So after this river experience, we go on a giant boat to cross and see like the actual Mekong riverway, and it was really cool. And then we got to this part where you get to feed alligators, and please check out the vlog because you get to see me feed alligators. I think it's like pig liver or pig heart or something like that. And bro, we played a game. It was really fun. It was you're trying to swing the meat right by the alligator's mouth and try to see how many times you can do it without the alligator snapping and getting the food. It was so cool. And then we did. Oh man, please tell me I have this on the thing. Sorry, I'm fucking up with the videos, guys, but hopefully I have it. Let's see. Recent. Do I have that video? Oh, I don't think there we go. I have it. So I'll switch over camera. So then we did these pedicures.
Oh, what is that feeling? Oh, that feels weird.
The fish is eating the dead skin off of your foot. And again, it'll all be in the vlog. I will have to. Oh, let me move that aside. I do have to say, funny thing is I only put one foot in because my other foot had a cut, and I don't want the fish to get into that, and it's also fucking gross. But it was so cool. Oh, by the way, I found the videos that I was gonna show you guys earlier. This is the vendor on the floating market squeezing the orange juice. Dude, that was the best orange juice of the trip too, which is crazy. And you see we're literally moving on the river while this is happening, which is insane. Another thing, I think I have another video now. So now I found the videos. Sorry for that earlier. Here's the video of us in the river cruising. So beautiful, and like literally you won't see this anywhere else, bro. And then here's the snake shot of us taking the snake shot. I found it. Wait, here you go. Look at my face. I hated it. It was disgusting. Ugh. But yeah, it was really cool. And then after feeding the alligators, we got to see the snakey. And then, oh my God, this is a hilarious moment. I got to tell you guys. So the final part of the experience is going on a horse ride or horse carriage to go back, right? Bro. So I hopped on the horse carriage with my one Vietnamese friend who is the biggest guy there, right? Maybe not in size, but in height, right? And he probably probably the second highest weighing guy, right? And it's me, him, and then this other dude who's about my size. So it's usually 4 people, 5 if you count the rider of the horse to a carriage. My other friend, who weighs the most, decides to sit in the same carriage as us, right? So now we're at 4, which is the max limit. And the tourist guide sits with us. Now we're 1 person over, and it's the smallest horse. So this poor horse was using, this horse right here, was using all its might to push us. And God, we were getting dusted by the other horses, and it was hilarious. It was such a funny experience. All right, so then after that cool ass experience, we had a great time. We got to eat coconuts after, endless coconuts. So cool. We got back to his first auntie's house, and first thing they really wanted to do with us was karaoke. And one of my white friends knew how to read Viet, which is hilarious. He doesn't know what he's saying, but it was so funny. We karaoke'd, at least me and his relatives, and who else? Me, his relatives, and my one other friend karaoke'd like all night. My other friends passed out. And last story I'll tell you guys before we get on to before we cut off the podcast and next week we'll tell you guys the second half of the story. And the second half of the story is insane. In terms of nightlife and partying, that will be the second half, and also the dating scene. That'll be the second half. This has been more of the family side and local side of the story. I do have to cut it off just because of time, and I want to upload this video still today. But last funny story. So when we get to the auntie's house, they slept on this fancy ass table, right? 3 of the boys. And the 3 other guys, including myself, have to sleep on hammocks. I regret that decision. I should have just slept in this little crevice right here because the hammock was so uncomfortable. And I picked the worst location by accident. I was between one of our friends who was there, sleeping on a hammock, who snores preposterously loud. And I was between the outside where there was a rooster. So throughout the whole night, every 30 minutes, I hear either really loud snoring or a rooster. I slept maybe a total of an hour that night. And on top of barely sleeping, at 3 a.m., my friend's dad decides to wake us all up, slap our feet, and wake us up to get coffee together. And this is us getting coffee. I'm dying inside. We got coffee at 3 a.m. And then right after drinking 3 a.m. coffee, his dad goes back to sleep. So we're like, what the fuck was the point of this? But it was really interesting. We went back to sleep, or at least I did. I passed out for like an hour or 2. And then we had to be up because this was a big day for us. We have to get our suits tailored, and then his family planned to do a charity event that we were going to help at, where we were going to give out rice and noodles to the community, especially the poor in the community, which is awesome. And I'm so glad they sponsored that and did this event, and I'm so glad to be a part of it, and it's gonna be in the vlog. It was really cool. But we get suits tailored, and this is me getting tailored, looking weird. And then after getting suits tailored, we ate jiao, which is one of my faves. Is literally my favorite dish to eat when I was sick. And God, the jiao is so good. Everything there is just so high quality versus American. Like the ingredients, literally the rice that you get, which we asked his family there, the rice that you eat there most likely is from that area, which is so cool. You're eating native local rice. Insane to see. And then after this whole experience, eating and everything like that, we did the charity event, which was so cool. Everybody took pictures with me, but also my American friends. My American friends were a big hit there because, again, none of these southern, like far south rural people see American people. So they're like, oh my God, can I take a picture with you? And can you say it? Can you say it? And then my one friend goes, Cafe Soda. And everyone's like, ah! It was so awesome. And now we head to Saigon for the next part of our journey, which is the next half. No, actually, it's more than half. It was so far at this point, it's been maybe 4 or 5 days. The next 7 days is us 6 guys on our own going to Clubs. Some of them didn't go to some clubs. When I say clubs, it's mainly me. I go out every single night, which is insane. Clubs, nightlife, adventuring, seeing the craziest thing of all time that everybody needs to see. Eating the best foods, going to restaurants and everything like that. But that will have to be in the next podcast, guys. I'm going to close this podcast here because we've already hit an hour. And yeah, so if you guys are enjoying this story and you guys want to see more, you guys want to see the videos, the vlog will be out tomorrow for my solo travel. And then either Sunday or Monday, I'll have the next vlog out where we did the my day alone in Segong. And next week, we will talk about the second half of the trip on this podcast. And I will also start uploading more of the vlogs in my main channel. So thank you so much if you guys have been listening. Again, sorry that I couldn't fit it all into one podcast. This podcast would literally be 3 or 4 hours if I did tell it all. The next podcast I'm expecting will be an hour and a half, 2 hours, because the next part of the journey was insane. So I'm going to close it off here. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. If you guys like listening to this story or to my podcast, make sure you guys let me know in the comment section down below. I love you guys so much. And I hope everybody has a great week. I'll see you guys next Tuesday and we'll talk about the rest of the trip. Bye.